Hello. Just double checking everything's working out. Yep, should be completely fine. There we go. So welcome to Dragon Age Origins. So I'm going to be going through this. I've thought about for the last few days of how to do this on the channel, and I've decided to go one of two ways. I'm going to be playing through all of Mass Effect and all of Dragon Age, but I've decided to change it up so that instead of just going through all of Mass Effect then all through Dragon Age like I did last time on my last channel, I think now I'll go Mass Effect 1, Dragon Age 1, Mass Effect 2, Dragon Age 2, Mass Effect 3, Dragon Age Inquisition. That's how we'll do it. Just to change things up, keep things fresh. And plus I'm running a role-playing campaign at the moment that's all fantasy, so that'll be really good. When I speak about, a BioWare as a company, as a company game developer that makes video games and makes role-playing games, often one of the questions that I get whenever I speak to people is, what do you think was the high watermark of BioWare's RPGs, of their games? And I often say, everyone says Mass Effect 2, because that was the game where they, had a sci-fi epic on their hands, and EA gave them all of the money and didn't have any of the caveats that came with it. Electronic Arts being the main publisher now. But I actually think Dragon Age Origins is that game. It's a lot earlier than Mass Effect 2. I think Mass Effect 2 came out in 2010, and this came out in 2009. So, what Dragon Age Origins is, it's a link between the old RPGs of the past and the new ones that will be coming later on. The old RPGs being things like Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale, which are isometric, top down. You're removed from the action sort of a thing, tactical combat, things like that. What I love about Dragon Age Origins, and I honestly think it spoiled me for other RPGs, is that isometric RPGs anyway, is that you can play it like an isometric RPG if you wish, top-down RPG, or you can play it as a normal, behind everybody, doing it that sort of way. I normally play it how it's meant to be played, and that's normally, just with a normal camera and things like that. But yeah, this was BioWare's first attempt at doing an RPG, a fantasy RPG of their own. They had done Baldur's Gate before, and Baldur's Gate 2, and both Baldur's Gate games took place in Faerun, which is the Dungeons and Dragons setting. They licensed that setting to put their games into. This is their first take on their own fantasy world, and it shows. It shows that there is love and care in every single detail of this game, from start to finish. At no point does this game slow down. At no point does it let up in its pace and in its writing and in its poignancy in what it's saying. Games nowadays, they tend to do that. Like games will tend to have points in them where you can just see how the developer was rushed to get out the door as quickly as possible. You can see as it gets towards the end of development that they're panicking and that things fall by the wayside. I played Pillars of Eternity 2 the other week, and it's just a game that came out just last year, and it's a fantastic game. But its last quarter, I swear, is so rushed. It's so. Conveniences happen all the time just to get the plot to the final couple of minutes, and the ending itself, while satisfying, it's very underwhelming because it's text-based almost. It's almost entirely text-based. There's no visual cue there of saying, here's what's happening to our characters and here's the epilogue scenes. There's nothing like that. It's just, so Dragon Age Origins is one of those very rare games where it's like the perfect storm of all these different ideas that have been going around BioWare for years at this point, of people really wanting to do their own fantasy RPG, and finally they're getting a chance to do that. Now, if you liked Lord of the Rings, you'll love Dragon Age. A lot of the same cues are taken in Dragon Age, and if you liked Game of Thrones, you'll also like Dragon Age. A lot of cues from Game of Thrones are taken with Dragon Age as well. It doesn't do very many things differently from other settings, from other, the elves are very elfish, the dwarves are very dwarfish. But what it does do is the tone. The tone of Dragon Age is extremely dark, and this is in a time before the Witcher games came out, and it's in a time before the Witcher books were known very well. And to be honest with you, it's not. It'll be 2 years after this game when Game of Thrones first season it comes out, and before then it was a very popular series of books, but not a phenomenon like they are now. So really, Dragon Age Origins is the first foray into dark fantasy that that video games have. The characters in it are fantastically well written from start to finish, and I can't wait to play it for you. Can't wait for you to see it. So let's jump in. Oh, and by the way, and there's another thing, I freely admit now at the start of this that I'm terrible at these kinds of RPGs. I'm awful at them. I will be playing it on normal to start with, but I may switch to easy later, because in fact I may just switch it on easy because I want to show you the story. I'm a story person, not a mechanics person. I wish I was a mechanics person. I wish I was smart enough to min-max everything and to get the best out of every single character, but that stuff just frustrates me. It's not what I'm here for. I was playing Pathfinder Kingmaker the other night. Again, an RPG that came out very recently, over the last few months. I just could not get into it. And, you know, there are certain people on YouTube are saying it's a better game than Dragon Age Origins. I do not understand that whatsoever. It's so beyond wrong. But anyway, let's start a new game. We will be playing through Awakening as well, which is the expansion, but we're going for Dragon Age Origins first. And I'm going to shut up, because you're going to watch an intro.
The Chantry teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the Darkspawn into our world. The mages had sought to usurp heaven, but instead they destroyed it. They were cast out, twisted and cursed by their own corruption. They returned as monsters, the first of the Darkspawn. They became a blight upon the lands, unstoppable and relentless. The Dwarven kingdoms were the first to fall, and from the deep roads, the Darkspawn drove at us again and again, until finally we neared annihilation. The Grey Wardens came. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness, and prevailed. It has been 4 centuries since that victory, and we have kept our vigil. We have watched and waited for the Darkspawn to return. But those who once called us heroes have forgotten. We are few now, and our warnings have been ignored for too long. I have seen with my own eyes what lies on the horizon. Maker, help us all.
Alright. So one really cool thing about the game is that, as you can see here, the background you select will determine which of 6 distinct opening stories you play through. It also affects how characters respond to you throughout the game. So, this is the world of Thedas, okay, which literally means the Dragon Age setting, and within it, people hold, what shall I say, a different standing. The humans in Dragon Age setting are very human. They're just normal. They're normal people, okay? So they're the people who are in control. They're the people who are, you know, ruling kingdoms and empires and stuff. Elves are very elfy, but the elven civilization was crushed by human crusades hundreds and, well, maybe almost 1,000 years ago now. And they had a second homeland in the Dales that was then destroyed. Also by humans, and now they live in ghettos, mainly enslaved. Very dark stuff. There are Dalish elves, which claim to keep to the old ways, and they stay in forests and things like that. And you have city elves also, which live in ghettos called alienages, who have lost their elven heritage, sort of a thing. And there are dwarves. Dwarves are, well, dwarves, and they can't use magic. Because they don't dream. So what that also means that they can actually make enchantments and work with lyrium, which is like liquid magic, very easily, without it affecting them. Other people get addicted to lyrium. Dwarves don't really. Aside from that, they live in a rigid caste system, and you know it's all about tradition for the dwarves. Again, they live underground, under mountains, very dwarfy. So a lot of the races within Dragon Age are very standard, but the way that they're used is not. So with this preview, we will be going with a human, because I think it's the best origin, and I think it's the best way of getting the most out of the game in terms of the way people respond to you and stuff. It's very interesting playing as an elf or a dwarf, because people are quite racist to you quite sometimes, and you can tell them off, or you can just go along with it. But humans have, even because they don't get that racial stuff, they do have a lot more ties into the main story, which I prefer. So we'll go with that. And we're going to be a warrior, because I don't really want to think about combat too much in this playthrough. You know, I'm gonna let my warrior go in there and just mush things up. Aside from that, that's what we're doing. We're a human noble, so we're born to wealth and power, second only to royalty. You find your training in both diplomacy and battle put to the test as your brother leads the bulk of your family's forces to war in the south. There you go. Very Game of Thrones there.
Greetings.
No, we're not sticking with this face, don't worry. It's not a real RPG if you can't make your own face. Sorry, Witcher fans. Let me see the nose shape. We shorten the nose a little bit. I'm not the kind of person who takes a long time with this, by the way. I am normally, but I've done this so many times. I'm not going to lie. On this game, that I just, yeah. Bridge width can go down a little bit. Nostril width can go down. Nose height can go a little bit longer. Yeah, that's fine. No. Nose depth can go up a little bit. There we go. Eyes. Quite like his eyes as is. Hair. I'll come back to hair. Skin tone. I'll go for white because he is white. Eye colour. Okay. Nose we've done. Underbite. Ooh, that's a big underbite. So we get a bit more of an overbite. There we go. Jaw and cheeks. We have very high cheekbones. Bang. And you have quite full cheeks as well. There was a very interesting survey on what was it called? I think it's PC Gamer. What do women play the most? And most women play RPGs, funnily enough. Or that or COD. I don't know why. I'm not saying all women. I'm saying on that survey they found that a lot of women played RPGs. I can see why. I can see why. It's a lot more in depth than most other games. In terms of story and character development and things like that. That's cool. Eyes. Is there a brow height? Yeah, there is. Good. There we go. I like being quite severe looking. That's pretty cool. Believe it or not, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. We need to sort his hair out. There we go. Pretty much done. I might try and change his complexion because his complexion's a bit... Oh, there we go. He's a young man. He's not old. So. That looks pretty cool. Neck and ears, ear size. We'll take his ears down a little bit. Neck thickness. How thick can you make his neck? Yeah, we'll make it quite thick. It's quite a big dude. So we can change his portrait now. Just in case you wanted him to be really short or really big. Be wary because you will be looking at this for the rest of the game. In the bottom right. There we go. Expression. I'll do. Now, in terms of naming him, I normally name him Royce. There's a very good reason for that. Within the game, your dad's name is Bryce, and your brother's name is Fergus. Now, those are two very Celtic names, and Royce is also a Celtic name. But also, when I was playing this game a while ago, an uncle of mine, whose name was Roy, actually died. So I actually named the character after him, and it sort of stuck because it works. Bryce, Royce, and Fergus. Those names work together as a family. So that's what we'll be using. We always go with the violent.
Greetings. Ah, my spell! What does it take to kill these things? You're in my way.
We always go with violent because doesn't fuck about. Cool. So this is D&D standard fare. 1 in cunning. We'll whack that in there for now. Or do I want to do that? Yeah, he's not really battle tested yet, so I'm not going to select that. That means he's been in more battles than even the seasoned soldier, but he is quite charming, so we'll give him that one. Cool. He is a warrior, so it's going to be two-handed. Pommel strike and mighty blow. Actually, no, we'll go for Sunder Arms and mighty blow. Lovely. Boom. I'm going to leave it on easy for now, and then we'll whack it up later on if it's too easy. But I just want to go through the story at the moment. I'm going to shut up for a minute.
For generations, your family, the Couslands, has stewarded the lands of Highever, earning the loyalty of your people with justice and temperance. When your country was occupied by the Orlesian Empire, your father and grandfather served the embattled kings of your land. Today, your elder brother takes up House Cousland's banner in service to the crown. Not against the men of Orlais, but against the bestial darkspawn rising in the south.
I trust then that your troops will be here shortly.
I expect they will start arriving tonight, and we can march tomorrow. I apologize for the delay, my lord. This is entirely my fault.
No. The appearance of the Darkspawn in the south has us all scrambling, doesn't it? I only received the call from the king a few days ago myself. I'll send my eldest off with my men. You and I will ride tomorrow just like the old days.
True, that we both had less grey in our hair then, and we fought Orlesians, not monsters.
At least the smell will be the same. I'm sorry, Pup, I didn't see you there. Hal, you remember my son?
I see he's grown into a fine young man. Pleased to see you again, lad.
So this is the first scene you greeted with in Dragon Age. So if you don't recognise that man's voice, he played It in the original It. So there you go. I'll let you Google that, so you find. This is your dad over here, obviously. Was I brought here for a reason?
Since your brother is leading our forces south and I'm going with the Arl, I'm leaving you in charge of the castle.
Why can't I go into battle with you and Fergus?
I'm certain you'd more than prove yourself, but I am not willing to deal with your mother if you join the war. She'd kill me if I let you go. She's already twisted into knots about Fergus and me going.
See, you can be a whiny little bitch here. You know, that's not fair, I want to fight. Or you can say, you know, very well, you know, I'll do what you want. Or you can say, you know, let me talk to arguments, or you can just straight up try to murder him. It's like, this is your dad. What are you doing? I'll say, yeah, because I can make you talk quite well. So I'm like, yeah, let me talk to her, I'll convince her.
I doubt that. You know your mother, and she made it clear there is no debate. This is no needless task. I ask you to take a great responsibility. Only a token force is remaining here, and you must keep peace in the region. You know what they say about mice when the cat is away, yes? There's also someone you must meet. Please, show Duncan in.
Just whacks himself in the face.
It is an honor to be a guest within your hall, Tyrn Cousland.
Your lordship, you didn't mention that a Grey Warden would be present.
Duncan arrived just recently, unannounced. Is there a problem?
Of course not. But a guest of this stature demands certain protocol. I am at a disadvantage.
We rarely have the pleasure of seeing one in person, that's true. Pup, Brother Aldous taught you who the Grey Wardens are, I hope.
They defeated the Darkspawn long ago.
Not permanently, I fear.
Without their warning of the Darkspawn rising now, half the nation could have been overrun before we'd had a chance to react. Duncan is looking for recruits before joining us and his fellow Wardens in the south. I believe he's got his eye on Sir Gilmore.
If I might be so bold, I would suggest that your son is also an excellent candidate.
Honor though that might be, this is one of my sons we're talking about.
So, is there a reason I shouldn't join them?
You did just finish saying that Grey Wardens are heroes, old friend.
I've not so many children that I'll gladly see them all off to battle. Unless you intend to invoke the right of conscription.
Have no fear. While we need as many good recruits as we can find, I've no intention of forcing the issue.
Pup, can you ensure that Duncan's requests are seen to while I'm gone?
Don't strain my abilities or anything.
And don't strain my patience. In the meantime, find Fergus, and tell him to lead the troops to Ostagar ahead of me.
Where is Fergus?
Upstairs in his chambers, no doubt, spending some last moments with his wife and my grandson. Be a good lad and do as I've asked. We'll talk soon.
See, now, he tells you to run away, but you don't need to. You can just stay here and talk to people for a bit if you really want to. That's what I'm going to do. Let's talk to Arl Howe, shall we? So him and your dad are very good friends from way back when.
Yes?
And they're both going to ride south tomorrow to combat the Darkspawn, which are coming back, which you saw in the opening movie there, just before. I trust the delay with your men is nothing serious.
Poor weather, I believe. Their progress has been slow, but it's nothing you need worry about.
You told my father the delay was your fault.
In a manner of speaking. If I had reinforced our border levies earlier, my troops could have left before the rains. I confess, my confidence in your father allowed me some complacency. I guess that makes it as much his fault.
Have you and my... how long have you and my father been friends?
We fought together under King Maric when he drove the Orlesians out of Ferelden. Heady times. The years since have not held the same promise. It's not something a youth would understand. It will be good to ride beside your father again.
You knew King Maric?
Your father hasn't spoken of our time with him? That man took care of his friends. As they say, he was large as life and twice as tall. It's too bad Cousland isn't half that.
So, just a bit of context. We're in a kingdom called Ferelden at the moment, and Ferelden is essentially England, or the equivalent of England. And this country was invaded by Orlais, which is essentially France, a very French state. And King Maric was the heir to the throne who cast them out in a big civil war a generation ago. And this guy and my dad fought in that war. And King Cousland is Maric's son. You don't think much of King Cousland?
I think of him as much as he thinks at all.
That's enough, Hal. You speak of our king.
Oh, the boy did ask, your lordship. As per the latitude you allow. I merely offered my opinion.
Your daughter is interested in me?
The topic has come up from time to time. The young and their infatuations.
I got the impression Delilah didn't like me.
I'm sure that was years ago. People change. To be honest, I have no expectations. And your father seems determined to let you find your own way. If something did happen, well, we'd address it as befits a family of our stature.
We'll see.
I'm sure. There will be much to discuss once I return.
I just wanted to wish you well, Arl Howe.
I thank you. That is quite unnecessary.
I'm sorry, but I believe your father wishes to talk to the Arl and myself alone.
I was hoping to ask you a quick question or two.
Very well. I doubt your father would mind a slight delay.
Are there really Darkspawn in the south?
Indeed. We spotted a horde assembling in the Korkari Wilds not 3 weeks ago. Luckily, King Cousland took us at our word and marshaled Ferelden's forces quickly. The first battles have already been fought. Your father and I must move quickly.
How many Darkspawn are there?
Thousands. Perhaps 10,000 or more in this horde. Normally the Darkspawn stay in the deep roads. It bodes ill that so many risk the surface.
How much danger are Fergus and my father in?
Well, I understand the first battles have gone easily.
Indeed. Are the Grey Wardens sure this is a blight, and not simply some large Darkspawn raid?
No archdemon has been sighted yet, my lord. But with my entire soul, I believe this is a blight.
I wish we shared your faith. I suppose we shall see for ourselves once we arrive at the King's camp.
Would you really recruit me into the Wardens?
Of course. You're young, skilled, and eager for battle. Also, I heard. The Grey Wardens do not recruit simply anybody, and I intend no flattery when I say you show promise. The old treaties allow me to conscript you even against your father's wishes, but I will not do so. Our order is too small to risk animosity with Ferelden's nobility.
And glad I am to hear it.
It's tempting, your lordship, but I'm content to see what other candidates your castle offers.
Did you really come all this way to see Sir Gilmore?
I have only found a couple of worthy candidates in my travels across Ferelden. Your father invited me here, suggesting this Sir Gilmore. If he is not suitable, I will head south and join up with the king.
You know the king?
Not well. King Cousland is an eager young man who has shown great wisdom in responding to the Darkspawn threat.
I've heard he is a bit enraptured with the Grey Warden legend, and that is why he caters to your order.
How? That is unworthy of you.
He only repeats what we've all heard. Whatever the king's reasons, I'll take his support. The priority is defeating the Darkspawn before they threaten all of Ferelden.
I'll leave you alone then.
Until we speak again.
So this is your family home. This is where the character grew up. Now, Royce as a character, I generally, he's the youngest son, you know, so he's not really meant to inherit anything. His brother's being groomed to inherit stuff, and he's just been allowed to throw all of his energy and training into being a better fighter. You know, that's what he is. He doesn't have any responsibility. He's a bit of a Chad, basically. At least when the game starts, he will not always be like that. Much as the game progresses, he will get more and more responsible, and you'll see him grow more and more and more as he's leading people into being like a really good leader. But at the moment, he's like the worst leader in the world. he's just out for women, and he's out to have fun and to bash in heads, essentially. Yeah.
Greetings, my lord. You are the Terran's son, are you not?
And who are you?
I am a member of Arlhow's personal guard. The rest of the Arl's forces are expected tonight. I understand you shall take charge of your father's castle once we march.
That's a little nosy.
I apologize. Good evening, my lord.
Some of How's men are here, at least. I like the touch that you've got your dad's portrait over here and your mum's portrait over there. It's quite cool. This is the main hall, obviously. Oh, games used to look so bad back in the day. You will see as the Dragon Age series goes on, the graphics do get a lot better. So that's something to look forward to. But I quite like the graphic style. It's very nice. I like this this touch. If you go near the drains here, it's actually... And think about the size of the game as well. This is just one of the... If you play an elf, you don't see this. If you play a dwarf, you do not see this at all. Any of this. So, all this content. Oh. This is the chapel, I guess? Chantry?
Maker, prepare a place for us. Redeem our world from sin. Forgive our transgressions.
Maker, forgive us all!
Have you come to pray for your brother and father? I'd be happy to ask for the Maker's blessings with you.
He's not religious. Royce is not religious at all. So... if it'll make you feel better.
Would it not make you feel better?
I don't think anyone hears our prayers, Malal.
The prophet Andraste herself once doubted the path before her. Perhaps we should pray as she did. Creator of the heavens, world and seas, we beseech you. Your son is astray, lost in the wood of desolation. May the flame of your truth guide him home. So let it be. I sincerely hope your soul is at ease. Now I shall pray for your father and your brother. Join in if your heart compels you. Creator of the sky, the land, and the sea. Hear your people in our time of need. Let no man have cause to fear the shadows. Let their souls be lifted upon your return. So let it be. Your faith is silent tonight. I hope you are just deep in reflection. There are many more who must receive the Maker's blessings before they leave. If you would excuse me.
Could you answer a few questions?
I cannot. Many await my attendance before they march into the unknown. We shall talk once the soldiers have departed.
Okay. One second. Cool. Sorry, I was answering a text from my sister. So throughout the game, you'll get little things like this, little codex entries, which give you little tidbits of lore that you can read through. Andraste is basically Dragon Age Jesus, and she's female, obviously. Yeah, so that's all you gotta know. They're basically the Catholic Church, but they're dominated by women, which I think is a really cool spin.
Good evening, my lord.
Good evening.
There you are. Your mother told me the Terran had summoned you, so I didn't want to interrupt.
Good thing too, considering Father's company.
Yes, I saw the Arl arrive. I fear your hound has the kitchens in uproar once again, and is threatening to leave.
She was my nanny before she was the cook, and I won't leave.
Your mother disagrees. She insists you collect the dog, and quickly. You know these Mabari hounds. They listen only to their master. Anyone else risks having an arm bitten off.
You know it's better than to hurt anyone.
I'm not willing to test that. You're quite lucky to have your own Mabari warhound, you know. Smart enough not to talk, my father used to say. Of course, that means he's easily bored. Nan swears he confounds her just to amuse himself. At any rate, your mother would have me accompany you until the matter is settled. Shall we?
I need to talk to my brother first.
Your mother was quite specific. Unless the castle is under attack, you get that dog before doing anything else. Her words, not mine. Before we go, my lord, might I beg a question? I've heard from several people that a Grey Warden is here. Is that true?
Yeah, it is.
Then, is it also true that this Grey Warden was asking after me?
He intends to test you for recruitment.
Maker's breath. Are you certain? Can you imagine? Me, a Grey Warden? It would be everything I've dreamed of. Of course, I shouldn't get ahead of myself. Pardon my outburst.
Fanboy over here. So you should have a good route around the castle.
Oh, my lord, we were just,
Playing cards?
well, the treasury's safe. I'm not even sure why the Terran stationed us here.
Don't worry about it, I won't say anything.
We appreciate that, my lord. Thank you.
As I said, he's a terrible leader at the moment. He just doesn't give a shit. It's like, whatever. Whatevs. There's a dining hall in there. Okay.
Get that bloody mutt out of the larder.
But mistress, it won't let us near.
If I can't get into that larder, I'll skin both of you useless elves, I swear it.
Calm down, good woman. We've come to help.
You and you. Your bloody mongrel keeps getting into my larder. That beast should be put down.
Maybe you should be put down.
What? That monster is in my larder, slobbering all over the bacon, and you're insulting me?
Oh dear. Mistress, calm down, please.
That's it. I'll quit. Inform the turner. I'll go and cook at some nice estate in the Banorn.
Nan, please. We'll get the dog. Calm down.
Just get him gone. I've enough to worry about with a castle full of hungry soldiers. You two, stop standing there like idiots. Get out of the way.
Oh, Jesus.
Look at that mess. How did he even get in here?
Thank God for headphones, because like my dogs used to go crazy when I'd play this game and he would bark. Are you trying to tell me something?
He does seem like he's trying to tell you something. Wait. Do you hear that?
It's the first bit of combat. It's not really combat, but...
Foolish creature, it should know better than to
Get these
attack.
beasts out of here!
Giant rats? It's like the start of every bad adventure tale my grandfather used to tell. Your hound must have chased them in through their holes. Looks like he wasn't raiding the larder after all.
You can just say some harm put me in danger. Great. Those are very large rats.
I've seen larger. They come up from the Kokari wilds sometimes. But seeing as you've got your Mabari well in hand, I'll be on my way. I'm to prepare for the arrival of more of the Isle's men.
Already. Normally you can name your dog,
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
and I always name him Amber after my first dog. But for some reason, it hasn't let me do that. Doesn't matter.
There he is, as brazen as you please, licking his chops after helping himself to the roast, no doubt.
Actually, he was defending your larder from rats. Big ones.
What? Rats? Not the large grey ones.
They'll rip you to shreds, they will!
See, now you've gone and scared the servants. I expect those filthy things are dead.
My faithful warhound made sure it's safe.
Oh, I bet that dog led those rats into there to begin with. Oh, don't even start with the sad eyes. I'm immune to your so-called charms. Here then, take these pork bits and don't say that Nan never gives you anything. Bloody dog. Thank you, my lord. Now we can get to work. That's right, you two. Quit standing about.
1 second. Cool.
Thank you again for your help. Now, if you'll just hold on a moment. Yes?
I'll just go.
Adney, get moving with those casts. And Kath, do you think you can serve that to the turn with dirt from the floor all over it?
Miserable old bat.
Old bat, am I? We've got to work double time on supper, sweep out the hearths, and no complaining.
Have you considered whipping them?
Oh, there's no need for that. Don't think I don't see you there, Kath.
She's got eyes in the back of her head, she does.
Thank you for coming to your old nanny's rescue. That blasted hound is more trouble than he's worth. He is. And don't start with me. You've gotten all you're getting today. But what about you, my lord? Been keeping safe and well behaved, I hope?
Why would I say anything but yes?
Huh. Clever whelp. That mouth of yours will get you into trouble one day. Do you remember that bedtime tale I used to tell you? The dog that bit?
I don't have time for stories now.
I suppose that's fair. Off with you then. And don't get into any trouble you can't get back out of.
I didn't know she wouldn't tell you the story. Normally she tells you a story about, but I'm role-playing, you know, that's what but, normally she tells you a story about, Hahaku, who's like a dog, a very prideful dog. He's meant to be called to be a chief's son's, you know, main dog, but he's not, so he, like, bites the chief and then gets killed. Yeah, I mean, you know. But hey. It is what it is.
And my dear Bryce bought this back from Orlais last year. The Marquis who gave it to him was drunk, I understand, and mistook Bryce for the king. Ah, here is my younger son. I take it by the presence of that troublesome hound of yours that the situation in the kitchen is handled?
Nan's head exploded and my dog ate the kitchen staff.
Well, at least one of us will have had a decent dinner. Perhaps your hound left something I can feed my guests. Darling, you remember Lady Landra, Ban Lawrence's wife?
I think we last met at your mother's spring salon.
Weren't you drunk?
I'm so proud of my pup's mastery of tact and diplomacy.
Well, it was a lovely salon, from what little I remember.
Which wouldn't be much, considering we had to pour you into the carriage afterwards.
You remember my son, Dyron. I believe you two sparred in the last tourney.
And you beat me handily, as I recall. It's good to see you again, my lord.
Oh, you're being modest. You fought very well. See, like, he would say, Mother, why are these people here? Because he's quite spoiled. And, like, you know. But this is a combat. He's faced this guy in combat, so he's like, yeah, you're being modest. You fought very well.
And this is my lady-in-waiting, Iona. Do say something, dear.
It is a great honor, my lord. I have heard many wonderful things about you.
Don't look now, Eleanor. But I believe the girl has a crush on your lad.
Lady Landra!
Hush, Landra. You'll turn the poor thing scarlet.
I think if you're a woman, it's the same, but the guy is quite bashful. I love how you can, like, ask her to speak alone right in front of your mother. It's like, I can handle my own affairs, thank you.
All evidence to the contrary.
I think perhaps I shall rest now, my dear. Dyron, I will see you and Iona at supper.
Perhaps we'll retire to the study for now.
Good evening, your lordship.
Now what I am about to do is for role-playing purposes only. In a sec.
Hello, my dear boy. By chance, I am beginning to teach these young squires about your family's history.
Do we have to? History is boring.
Boys, you are referring to the Couslands, the very family in whose castle you live. Show some respect.
Still the same taskmaster, I see.
If the mind is not exercised, it withers just as the body does. Perhaps you'd care to join me in teaching the lesson?
I'm quite familiar with the subject matter.
Perhaps you could make the topic more palatable for these lads and their minuscule intellects.
Very well.
Wonderful. Oh, the Cousland history is long indeed. Where shall we start?
We predate the founding of the kingdom, yes? See that this is very interesting. The way it does this is that it tells you about your family through, you know, this old sage, and you don't even need to speak to him if you don't want to. But I like doing it. So we predate the founding of the kingdom, yes?
Well, I'm glad some of my lessons don't disappear into that yawning chasm between your ears, young man.
Shh. Your lecturing does lead to yawning.
A pity you don't spend the same care whetting the edge of your mind as your tongue. At any rate, your family has held the tournure of High Ever since before King Calenhad united Ferelden. In fact, Tierna Elethea Cousland battled Calenhad to maintain High Ever's independence.
And Calenhad let us keep the tourney. Tourney is basically, in this world, there's Ban, which is like a baron, and tourney is like a lord. We oppose the king.
The Couslands are ardent royalists now, but at that time, Calenhad was unknown and considered dangerous by many. When Calenhad's army reached High Ever, Tierna Elethea led the local bands against him. Obviously, Calenhad won.
And Calenhad let us keep the tourney.
Calenhad wished to unite Ferelden, not conquer it. After Alethea's men were defeated, Cousland asked her to swear fealty. The boulder where they held council still stands today as a memorial of that event.
When was our line founded?
Records are vague, but the Couslands became Tierns during the Black Age. Is that familiar, child?
Yeah, I remember something about an age in there.
Every day I pray to the Maker that my lessons will stick, and every day he tasks me anew. At that time, your family held only the minor title of Ban. When the werewolves reached this area, Ban Mather Cousland organized a curfew and patrols within the city. Several other local bands supported his efforts by swearing oaths of fealty, making him their Tiern.
Tell me of our relationship with Al Howe.
The history between the Couslands and the Howes reaches back to the Orlesian occupation.
When did Orlais occupy Highever?
During your grandfather's rule. Of course, Orlais found it difficult to hold these lands. During the rebellion against Orlais, several battles were fought near Highever. The port village of Harper's Ford was the Ternier's center. Its Jarl was Tarleton Howe. Though nearly 90, he was still as sharp and bitter as cheap ale. Your grandfather openly supported the rebellion, but Howe sided with Orlais. Your family was forced to seize Harper's Ford before it was all over.
Unfortunate, but we couldn't lose Harper's Ford.
Correct. That caused a rift between the two families, as you might imagine. The Howes eventually joined the rebellion, when all of Ferelden united behind King Merrick and General Loghain, just as now we united behind Merrick's son, King Cousland, to fight the Darkspawn.
Time to end the lesson there, I think.
Thank you for indulging an old man.
Oh, does that mean we have to listen to you now?
Silence! I will not have you two becoming smart-mouthed hooligans. Perhaps you should go. I doubt they need any more distraction. I'm just going to settle in here and apparently just talk to myself for all the good. Myself for all this one.
Love that guy.
Good evening, my lord.
Good evening.
Hello again. Your castle study is wonderful. Might I ask whose collection this is?
It's my grandfather's, but I often come in here to read.
So would I. Do you have a favorite book?
The Art of Passionate Love by Brother Capria.
Oh, that was banned by the Chantry, wasn't it? Quite provocative, I understand. I've, never read it myself.
It's not really meant for reading.
No, I'd heard that. Hence the banning.
So you're riding with my father tomorrow?
Yes, though I don't know when. I will leave when your father does. I'll ride as his second. A glorified squire, more or less. I'll care for his horse and armor and such. It's quite an honor.
Will you actually fight?
I hope so. I admit to trepidation about facing Darkspawn, but I can't imagine an opponent more worthy of defeat.
Do you consider it an honor to do menial tasks? That's a really, bitchy question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Unlike you, I am no child of a great house. If I can rise within the ranks of your father's service, it is more than I could normally hope for. I'm a bit surprised that you're not riding alongside your brother. Is that disappointing?
Are you implying something?
Implying? Not at all. I'm simply curious. If you're interested, I shall record what I can during the battle. My writing skills may be lacking, but I hope to convey a true sense of the warrior's experience. Writing such an important work is one of my ambitions.
Do you know anything about the Grey Wardens?
No more than anyone else. Is it true there is one here in the castle? Have you met him?
It's true, I've met him.
I'd join the Grey Wardens in a heartbeat. Can you imagine destroying the Darkspawn forever? Becoming a hero? But I'd never gain a Grey Warden's notice. I'll have to be happy under your father's command.
Let's talk about me. I like that topic.
I don't actually know you that well, my lord. I know of you, but that is not the same thing.
What have you heard about me exactly?
Everyone says you're more likely to succeed the Tarn than your brother is, that the Cousland line has never been stronger. I don't know about here, but outside your castle, people discuss your family a great deal. Some say your father should have been king instead of Cousland. But it is just talk, I think, born of affection for your father.
I'd get to know you a little better.
I'd like that. What did you have in mind?
Tell me about yourself.
There's not much to tell. I am the eldest son of a minor lord. I can't imagine I'm anyone very interesting to you.
Perhaps we could talk after you return from the south.
I would be glad of the chance to get to know you better. Until then.
See, that always catches me off guard. I always pick that one without knowing that he's actually like, oh, he wants to sleep with me. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm just being nice.
That is a wonderful dog. He seems very noble and intelligent. Greetings once again, my lord.
How did you come to know Lady Landra?
My family has been in service to hers for many years. Lady Landra elevated my place as a reward for our loyalty. I hope this position might pass to my daughter.
You have a daughter?
Forgive me, I shouldn't have mentioned her.
You gotta go with Royce. He's a bit of a charmer.
She does. Many people say she looks a great deal like me. I'm the only one who sees her father in her.
You don't hope for more for your daughter?
I have risen very high for my people. I would not tempt fate by wishing more.
Sounds like Lady Landra has been good to you.
Lady Landra is good to her elven servants. That is not true in many households, but I hear it is in yours. It speaks well of your father to show such compassion.
I haven't seen many elven ladies in waiting.
Lady Landra has been very good to me. I am lucky. If I may, your mother has no ladies-in-waiting herself. Is that usual for a noble woman of her rank?
If she found a maid like you, I might encourage her. Nah, she doesn't care to be fussed over.
That is not a sentiment I see amongst other noble women.
Tell me about yourself.
I am an open book, my lord. What would you like to know?
Where were you born?
Lady Landra's manor is not half so large as your castle, so my family lives in the alienage.
Did you enjoy living there?
There we do not stand out quite so much. In an alienage, my daughter learns what it means to be elven, as much as possible. So much of our history has been lost.
What do you think of humans?
That is an awkward question. What do you mean?
Do you find them attractive? The reverse is true enough.
Some humans, yes, without question.
Okay. Is anyone special back home?
No longer. I have little time for such things.
Yeah, Royce is just... Yeah, he's dirty. Sure, you're joking. Someone as beautiful as you?
You flatter me, my lord. I am not so pretty that suitors are lining up, if that's what you mean. Of course.
I think we should get to know each other better.
Aren't we doing just that? What else did you have in mind?
You know what he's going to do. Something more intimate, later on in my room.
I see. I think I might like that. If I come to your door once everyone is asleep, would that be agreeable, my lord?
I wish there was I wish you could say, ha, no. Please, call me Royce.
Until tonight, then.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is that as a role-playing thing, that is exactly what he would do, and you do get more dialogue options with other people later on, which are really funny. Especially between brothers, as you'll see in a bit.
Good evening, my lord.
You should say goodbye to Fergus while you have the chance.
Do you know there's a Grey Warden here?
Yes, your father mentioned that. You haven't got it into your head that you want to be recruited.
The Darkspawn have returned. Grey Wardens are needed.
There's enough here at the castle to occupy you. I don't need you off chasing danger like your brother.
Do you know where Fergus might be?
If he's not out with his men, probably upstairs with Oriana.
Why can't I go with Father and Fergus?
I know it's difficult to stay in the castle and watch others ride off, but we must see to our duties first. You understand that, don't you?
What if they fall without me?
It's in the Maker's hands now, and we must cope as best we can.
I have a bad feeling about all this.
As do I. Your father and brother are marching off to fight Maker knows what. All the assurances in the world don't comfort me, but it wouldn't help for us to take up arms and follow. Fergus and your father have their duty, and we have ours.
Are you staying in the castle?
For a few days. Then I'll travel with Lady Landra to her estate, and keep her company for a time. Your father thinks my presence here might undermine your authority.
As you wish.
Good. I was worried you might be nervous about running the castle alone. I needn't have been concerned.
I should probably go.
I love you, my darling boy. You know that, don't you?
What brought this on?
You've grown up so fast. And now Bryce is leaving you in charge of the castle. I suppose there's no point in dwelling on it. Go do what you must, then. I will see you soon.
Fair enough.
Good evening, my lord.
Good evening. Oh, the texture hasn't loaded in for that door. That's not good.
All right, all right.
This is my room. Very nice, very nice.
Is there really going to be a war, Papa? Will you bring me back a sword?
That sword, Oren. And I'll get you the mightiest one I can find, I promise. I'll be back before you know it.
I wish victory was indeed so certain. My heart is disquiet.
Don't frighten the boy, love. I speak the truth. And here's my little brother to see me off. Now dry your eyes, love, and wish me well.
Just let me know when you two are finished.
When there's a woman in your life, you'll understand.
No fewer than 3, if you please.
Bold words, little brother. I mean a real woman, not a turn in the straw.
Fergus, language!
You like to play in the stable too, Uncle? I like to hide in the hay.
Don't you listen to this. If I catch you with your clothes full of straw again, I'll send you to Mother Malone.
But Mama, she talks forever.
Do you know there's a Grey Warden in the castle?
Really? Was he riding a griffin?
Shh, Oren. Griffins only exist in stories now.
I'd heard that. Did he say why he's come?
He's going to test Sir Gilmore.
Good for him. I hope he makes it. If I were a Grey Warden, though, I'd have my eye on you. Not that Father would ever allow it.
Do you really think the war will be over that quickly?
Word from the south is that the battles have gone well. There's no evidence that this is a true blight, just a large raid.
Could that be true?
I'll see for myself soon enough. Pray for me, love, and I'll be back within a month or 2.
Wish I could go with you.
I wish you could come. It'll be tiring killing all those darkspawn myself.
Surely your father would not place both his heirs in danger?
Mother and father have been fighting about it for days. It's too bad. I could have used you at my side.
Father wants you to leave without him.
Then the Arl's men are delayed. You'd think his men were all walking backwards. Well, I'd better get underway. So many darkspawn to behead. So little time. Off we go then. I'll see you soon, my love.
I would hope, dear boy, that you plan to wait for us before taking your leave.
Be well, my son. I will pray for your safety every day you are gone.
A good shield would be more useful.
The Maker sustain and preserve us all. Watch over our sons, husbands and fathers, and bring them safely back to us.
And bring us some ale and wenches while you're at it. For the men, of course.
Fergus, you would say this in front of your mother?
What's a wench? Is that what you pull on to get the bucket out of the well?
A wench is a woman that pours the ale in a tavern, Oren. Or a woman who drinks a lot of ale.
Bryce, Maker's breath. I swear it's like living with a pack of small boys.
I'll miss you, Mother dear. You'll take care of her brother, won't you?
Mother can handle herself, always has.
It's true. They should be sending her, not me. She would scold those Darkspawn back into the deep roads.
Well, I'm glad you find this so funny.
Enough, enough. Pup, you'll want to get an early night. You've much to do tomorrow.
Again, he's sending you out, but you can actually talk to people, and I will do that.
You should be on your way, pup. Long day ahead tomorrow. I know that you'll do me proud. You've grown into a fine lad. That much is clear. You should be on your way, pup.
I was just checking.
Long day.
Mama says you're going to be watching over us while Papa is gone. Is that true, Uncle?
It's not going to be very exciting.
What if the castle is attacked? Will there be dragons?
Dragons are terrible creatures, Orin. They eat people.
Yeah, I want to see one.
This is your influence, Fergus.
What? I didn't say anything.
Are you going to teach me to use a sword, Uncle? Then I can fight evil too. Take that, dire bunny. All Darkspawn, fear my sword of truthiness.
Truthiness?
We're teaching him about honesty.
Don't worry, son. You'll get to see a sword up close real soon. I promise.
No. Oh, BioWare, you sick, sick, sick people.
If you should need any assistance in the coming days, I would be glad to offer it.
Best do as your father says, darling. I will see you in the morning, bright and early.
Getting sent to bed early, are we?
I don't mind. I have someone waiting for me.
What? You sly dog.
Fergus, really?
It's the elven lass that arrived with Lady Landra, isn't it? Don't you tell me it isn't. At any rate, I'll miss you. Take care of everyone, and be here when I get back.
See, it's worth doing that with Iona just for that, just so they get that brotherly, back and forth. It's really important for character building, I think.
You should be on your way, pup. Long day ahead tomorrow.
You sure you're going to be alright?
Your brother and I go into battle, not an afternoon tea. Who knows what will happen to us? I will tell you, however. You're my cherished son. I love you. And I trust you completely to carry on the Cousland name if the worst should happen. But don't worry about me, dear boy. You'll have enough to occupy your mind while I'm gone.
Sending all of our forces south a good idea?
When the king demands it. In fact, not sending our forces south would be a distinctly bad idea. Don't worry, pup. You shouldn't see many problems, but I want you to prepare the men left here. In case.
In case of what?
Legends of the Blights tell of horrible things. These Darkspawn once threatened many lands. If we can't hold them, you must prepare for the worst.
See, like, you can be a little bitch about it, but I'll do my best.
I know you will. You are a Cousland, after all. But let's not speak of ominous things. We shall assume that all will go well, and the Maker will watch over us.
About this Grey Warden.
Ah, I was wondering how long this would take. Has he asked to recruit you?
And if he did?
If he did, then I would have to consider it. If a blight is truly upon us in the south, then Grey Wardens will be needed. There is no higher calling. If it comes to that, we can talk about it when I get back. Until then, just show him every courtesy. Duncan is a fine man. And a hero.
I'll go now.
I know that you'll do me proud. You've grown into a fine lad. That much is clear.
Let's go to bed.
Your hound is making so much noise. He seems so angry.
Maybe something's wrong.
I thought I heard yelling when I woke up, but now I hear nothing. I'm gonna see if someone's in the hall.
Not the cleverest thing to do. Screw it. Even though he's naked, Royce, you do not kill Royce's woman.
Someone's gonna fall and it sure won't be me!
Just beats the shit out of them. With his little pantyhose on.
Excellent! Where is the... Here! Alright,
Tell us!
alright! I love how desperate you are! You're pathetic!
Left up.
Darling, I heard fighting outside and I feared the worst. Are you hurt?
Those men killed Iona.
What? The elven girl? But why? Her scream woke me up. There were men in the hall, so I barred the door. Did you see their shields? Those are Hal's men. Why would they attack us?
He's betrayed father. He attacks while our troops are gone.
You don't think Hal's men were delayed? On purpose? That bastard. I'll cut his lying throat myself. Have you seen your father? He never came to bed.
Maybe he stayed up with All Hal.
We must find him.
We should check on Oriana and Orin as well.
And trust his mercy. What if the soldiers went into your brother's room first? Let's check on them quickly. Then we'll look for Bryce downstairs.
Okay, I want to put armor on first, because, yeah. That's Fergus's room. It's my room. Cool.
I'll get on it.
Take all that stuff. All right.
No! My little Orin! What manner of fiend slaughters innocents?
Yeah, he's going to be annoyed.
How is not even taking hostages? He means to kill all of us. Oh, poor Fergus. Let's go, I don't want to see this.
Alright. So my sister-in-law and nephew are dead.
This'll be fun!
I will drive you from our land myself!
Sorry, am I too quick for you?
Together we shall leave this place.
I'll get on it. Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
I'm so sorry. If she hadn't come to me, if she hadn't been here.
So her friend's dead as well. Isn't good.
Got it.
Can you hear the fighting? Hal's men must be everywhere.
We should take the fight to them.
Don't be foolish. You would throw your life away? The front gates. That's where your father must be.
We can't just let Hal win.
Listen, darling. We haven't much time. If we can't find your father, you must get out of here alive. Without you and Fergus, the entire Cousland line dies here. If Hal's men are inside, they must already control the castle. We must use the servants' entry in the larder to escape. Do you hear me?
I want Hal dead.
Then survive. and visit vengeance upon him.
The castle has fallen! I'm getting out of here!
Don't be a coward, stand and fight.
Yes, my lord! Here they come!
Kill.
Get out of my way!
So
How dare you come here!
Oops. Sorry, mother. Have a bow.
Die already!
Fear death. I have nothing else to lose!
Now's better than later.
We must get to the castle gate. That's surely where your father is.
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
Let's kill some more of these fools. Son of a bitch.
I'll get on it.
Okay. We can't pick lock chests yet, because we don't have any skill in doing that.
Someone's gonna fall forward with me! Got it. Excellent!
You will be avenged, old sage. I swear it.
Oh shit.
All right, all right.
Do that to my dog, son of a bitch. Take that.
I pray that Mother Malal has escaped. Come! Together we shall leave this place.
Got it.
Murder everyone.
We must stop them.
Right, right.
There is hope yet.
The reason why I'm not going to the quest mark yet is because of this.
We're getting close to the treasury. The Cousland family blade lies inside. Here, darling, take my key. That blade cannot fall into Howe's hands. It should sever his treacherous head.
Got it.
I love how it's locked and these guys are still dead. That I do not understand. But,
Now's better than later. All right, all right.
Cool. You have to get some nice stuff from
I'll
the
get
early
on it.
levels in here, which is nice.
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
Cool. So now we've got the Cousland Guard Shield and the Cousland Family Sword. Fun bit of trivia, I only ever use this when I'm fighting Howe's people. It's not a very good sword, really, unfortunately. It's decent.
This'll be
How dare you come here?
excellent!
All right. Get down here. Notice I've gone straight for the mage.
How dare you?
All right, all right.
Go! Man the gate! Keep those bastards out as long as you can! Your ladyship, my lord, you're both alive. I was certain Hal's men had gotten through.
You treacherous bastard. Have you seen my father?
He was looking for you two. He told us to hold the hall as long as possible. When I realized what was happening, it was all I could do to shut the gates. But they won't keep Hal's men out long. If you've another way out of the castle, use it quickly.
I'll help you hold the gates.
They won't hold. It will only delay the inevitable. Please, go while you have the chance. When I last saw the Terran, he'd been badly wounded. I urged him not to go, but he was determined to find you. He went towards the kitchen. I believe he thought to find you at the servants' exit in the larder.
Bless you, Sir Gilmore. Make her watch over you.
Make her watch over us all.
Brave man. Brave man.
I'll get on it.
Did you not
If the
hear,
Terran
Sir
tried
Gilmore?
to escape.
We must go while we can.
Alright, let's go. Go.
How about you?
The servant's still here already.
Run! We must get out! They're slaughtering everyone!
Go then.
Run! Run!
I will kill them all myself.
You get no mercy from me!
And I shall do the same to Howe when I see him.
I'll get on it.
I think we just gotta go up here. Am I right? Oh shit.
See what you made of!
We're under attack!
You're gonna wreck my mess!
person.
Got it.
Old man's dead as well. Fucking hell.
Can I get you a ladder?
There, you both are. I was
Bryce!
wondering when you would get here.
Maker's blood, what's happening? You're bleeding!
Hal's men found me first. Almost did me in right there.
I'll kill Hal for what he's done.
He can't get away with this. The king will...
Bryce, we must get you out of here.
I won't survive the standing, I think.
They'll have to drag you out.
Only if you're willing to leave pieces of me behind, Bub.
Bryce, this is no time for jokes! Once Hal's men break through the gate, they will find us. We must go!
Someone must reach Fergus. Tell him what has happened.
And take vengeance.
Yes. Vengeance.
Bryce, no. The servant's passage is right here. We can flee together, find you healing magic.
The castle is surrounded. I cannot make it.
I'm afraid the turn is correct. House men have not yet discovered this exit, but they surround the castle. Getting past will be difficult.
You are Duncan, then? The Grey Warden?
Yes, your ladyship. The turn and I tried to reach you sooner.
My younger son helped me get here. Maker be praised.
I am not surprised.
Thank you for saving my father.
I fear your thanks are premature. I doubt I have saved him.
Whatever is to be done now, it must be quick. They are coming.
Duncan, you are under no obligation to me, but I beg you, take my wife and son to safety.
I will, your lordship, but I fear I must ask for something in return.
Anything!
What is happening here pales in comparison to the evil now loose in this world. I came to your castle seeking a recruit. The Darkspawn threat demands that I leave with one.
I understand.
What if something's happened to Fergus?
The king will see justice done. The Grey Wardens, however, must face the Darkspawn above all else.
He is right, Bub.
I will take the Tyrna and your son to Ostagar to tell Fergus and the king what happened. Then, your son joins the Grey Wardens.
So long as justice comes to Hal. I agree.
Then I offer you a place within the Grey Wardens. Fight with us.
It's pretty brutal that, you know, all this is happening and you know, they say, oh, the fact that it shows you how seriously the Grey Wardens take their charge in defeating the Darkspawn when, you know, all this is happening and Duncan has the balls to say that what's going on here just pales in comparison to what the Darkspawn threat actually is. My duty is to take vengeance on all Hal.
We will inform the king, and he will punish Hal. I am sorry, but a Grey Warden's duties take precedence even over vengeance.
Hal thinks he'll use the chaos to advance himself. Make him wrong, Bub. See that justice is done. Our family always does our duty first. The Darkspawn must be defeated. You must go. For your own sake and for Ferelden's.
Yeah, he will.
We must leave quickly then.
Bryce, are you sure?
Our son will not die of Hal's treachery. He will live and make his mark on the world.
Darling, go with Duncan. You have a better chance to escape without me.
Eleanor.
Hush, Bryce. I'll kill every bastard that comes through that door to buy them time. But I won't abandon you.
I won't let you sacrifice yourself.
My place is with your father. At his side to death and beyond.
I'm so sorry it's come to this, my love.
We had a good life, and did all we could. It's up to our children now.
Then go, pup. Warn your brother. Know that we love you both. You do us proud.
They've broken through the gates. We must go now.
Goodbye, darling.
Brutal.
We will be traveling south through the hinterlands to the ruin of Ostagar, on the edges of the Korkari Wilds. The Tevinter Imperium built Ostagar long ago to prevent the Wilders from invading the northern lowlands. It's fitting we make our stand here, even if we face a different foe within that forest. The King's forces have clashed with the Darkspawn several times, but here is where the bulk of the Horde will show itself. There are only a few Grey Wardens within Ferelden at the moment, but all of us are here. This blight must be stopped, here and now. If it spreads to the north, Ferelden will fall.
Ho there, Duncan.
King Cousland. I didn't expect a
royal welcome? I was beginning to worry you'd miss all the fun.
Not if I could help it, Your Majesty.
Then I'll have the mighty Duncan at my side in battle after all. Glorious. The other wardens told me you'd found a promising recruit. I take it this is he?
Allow me to introduce you, Your Majesty.
No need, Duncan. You are Bryce's youngest, are you not? I don't think we've ever actually met.
Are you not even aware my father is dead?
Dead? What do you mean? Duncan, do you know anything about this?
Terran Cousland and his wife are dead, Your Majesty. Arl Howe has shown himself a traitor and overtaken High Ever Castle. Had we not escaped, he would have killed us and told you any story he wished.
I can scarcely believe it. Well, how could he think he could get away with such treachery? As soon as we are done here, I will turn my army north and bring Howe to justice. You have my word.
What kind of justice?
He will hang. I know that will not bring your family back, but Howe will not profit from this. No doubt you wish to see your brother. Unfortunately, he and his men are scouting in the wilds.
He may be in danger.
We are all in danger, my friend. Nothing can be done until your brother returns, and that will not be until the battle is over. I apologize, but there's nothing more I can do. All I can suggest is that you vent your grief against the Darkspawn for the time being.
What would you know of my grief?
Your Majesty, I apologize.
Don't worry, Duncan. You must both be eager to reach your tents. Have you any news before I go?
Your uncle sends his greetings and reminds you that Redcliffe forces could be here in less than a week.
Ha! Eamon just wants in on the glory. We've won 3 battles against these monsters, and tomorrow should be no different.
You sound very confident of that.
Overconfident, some would say. Right, Duncan?
Your Majesty, I'm not certain the Blight can be ended quite as quickly as you might wish.
I'm not even sure this is a true Blight. There are plenty of Darkspawn on the field, but alas, we've seen no sign of an archdemon.
Disappointed, Your Majesty?
I'd hoped for a war like in the tales. A king riding with the fabled Grey Wardens against a tainted god. But I suppose this will have to do. I must go before Loghain sends out a search party. Farewell, Grey Wardens.
What the king said is true. They've won several battles against the Darkspawn here.
He doesn't seem to take the Darkspawn threat very seriously.
True. Despite the victory so far, the Darkspawn horde grows larger with each passing day. By now they look to outnumber us. I know there is an archdemon behind this, but I cannot ask the king to act solely on my feeling.
Why not? He seems to regard the Grey Wardens highly.
Yet not enough to wait for reinforcements from the Grey Wardens of Orlais. He believes our legend alone makes him invulnerable. Our numbers in Ferelden are too few. We must do what we can, and look to Teyrn Loghain to make up the difference. To that end, we should proceed with the joining ritual without delay.
Hot meal would be nice first.
I agree. We have until nightfall to begin the ritual. Every recruit must go through a secret ritual we call the joining in order to become a Grey Warden. The ritual is brief, but some preparation is required. We must begin soon.
I need to find Fergus.
You heard what the king said. He is scouting in the wilds and beyond contact. Be patient. He will return.
Why is this ritual so secret?
The joining is dangerous. I cannot speak more of it except to say that you will learn all in good time. Until then, you must trust that what is done is necessary.
Am I the only recruit you have?
No, there are 2 other recruits here already. They have been waiting for us to arrive.
What do you need me to do?
Feel free to explore the camp here as you wish. All I ask is that you do not leave it for the time being. There is another Grey Warden in the camp by the name of Alistair. When you're ready, seek him out and tell him it's time to summon the other recruits. Your hound can stay with me while I attend to some business. The Grey Warden tent is on the other side of this bridge. You will find us there should you need to.
So this is the part of the game where all of the origin stories converge. So no matter whether you're playing a dwarf, elf, human, mage, they all end up at this point, and this is where the game is on a single path. And this is where you get to make all your decisions that will basically shape the entire world. And yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. That's Royce's background. Pretty tragic, and you can only imagine what he's going through mentally at the moment. But yeah, we'll pick it up next time. I'll speak to you later. Oh, another thing is that Royce got his wish in the end, didn't he? He got to come south and fight the Darkspawn, but not in the way he wanted to. I'll see you next time.